Hey everyone, this is Kazi Asmir and welcome back to another Semantic SEO audit video. Now, so I faced some backlash regarding the last audit video because I did that audit for an SEO agency. So some people think I am going against their strategy or someone else's strategy, but the thing is I am not going anyone else's strategy. I'm just showing how we think and how we do our stuff from the Semantic SEO or the Koray frameworks perspective. So yeah, that's it. I am not against any strategy. If your strategy works, that's fine. If you want to take some portion of our strategy, that is also fine. Just wanted to show you how we work and how we see things in our framework or in our strategy, and that's it. So yeah, I'm not going to create the part 2 of the last audit video because I don't want to face any backlash again. So I'm doing a different website today, and I think this website is pretty small and pretty simple. I don't think I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this video because actually their content is not that heavy, like not that research heavy or not that long. So I think it is going to be simple for me to do 2 parts in one video in a simpler way as fast as possible. So yeah, let's get started. So today I'm going to do the audit for the website called gosmallbiz.com or Go Small Business, actually, I think. So yeah, what? My browser is not responding. What? Just a minute. All right, guys. Sorry for the weird cut. I think it is just working now. I think. Yeah, so I am going to do the audit for gosmallbiz.com, and yeah, this is my checklist, and let's get started. So what is the source context? We try to understand the source context of the website we are going to work for or work with. So this website, I think their business is about helping small businesses getting more leads and helping them with Google Ads and essential software and tools and consultation. So if I go to their About Us page, it is quite clear what they are doing and who are their behind the scene team, what they are doing and stuff like that. So I think it is pretty much clear with that, and we can see also the call to action buttons, that what is their source context is about. But I think if they could add a little bit more of the call to action buttons, that would be nice, like more to call to action rather than just to learn more, like explore our services, maybe contact us now, call us now, something like that. Login is a good thing. That shows a diversifying way of our source context login button. But I also would add more call to action buttons, like call us, contact us, talk to an expert, something like that. And from the copywriting perspective, as you probably know, I'm not just a semantic SEO guy. My background is from copywriting, so I also see things from the copywriting perspective. So I would add more words here and more words here, and maybe I will add the future pacing perspective, or not just the features, and to show them what the features can give the benefit in the future to those business owners and stuff like that. And also add maybe a final call to actions and FAQs as well. Maybe also, especially, I would add testimonials of real clients or customers, so that it gives you real authority on this specific business you are doing. So yeah, I would add those here from my copywriting perspective as well. So and then the next is what is the central entity? The central entity is something that will appear in any like every web page you create for your website. So it is the entity your business is revolved around. So the small business, I think this is going to be the main entity or the central entity for this website. So I think this is their central entity, and probably I'll check that at the last checklist, that if the central entity is mentioned site-wide. So I'll check that later on. But the central entity, to my understanding, is small business, helping small business. That's going to be their central entity. It is quite clear because they almost have a EMD, exact match domain, which is good for SEO. So that's a good thing. The next one is, what intent are you going to satisfy? So their intent is pretty clear. This help the customers with Google Ads and legal services, website building, website analytics, industry specific video tutorials, and financial support. Statements and stuff like that. And new website. It is quite clear what the intent they are serving. So the next one is understanding the ideal customer. So if they are helping only the small business, then the customers are small business owners. So their ideal persona is also clear if we just see their homepage, and if we check the other pages, and I think it is pretty much clear, except for the blog section, because the blog section is to me is kind of scattered. Like they are talking about small business, and they are talking about business plans. That is pretty good. that is on point. But the thing is, sometimes they're talking about soft skills, sometimes they're talking about LinkedIn, and I understand they do a variety of things, but the core section should be should be revolving around small business. So I think anything you write about the core section should be about the small business. So I think they are doing multiple different they're showing multiple different perspective, which is good, but they need a good flow to present it to Google. So the next one is understanding the competitor. So I haven't researched the competitor. I hope they did. So understanding the competitors is essential to see that how they are doing and how we can do it better. And maybe from the Google's point of view, how we can add more things to it, but without overdoing it, because we don't want to cost too much to Google. Like we don't want to cost too much the Google crawling budget. Like we have to be informative, but in a way that they can crawl in a cost-effective way. So yeah, that's the thing. The next one is what is the root? The root is kind of like the main article of a website that connects their core sectional articles, like regarding everything regarding their business. Like if they are helping small business, then everything regarding helping small business plans and stuff should be connecting to the root article. So I could not find any root article to their website. So I think I don't know if how they are doing it, but they have a tons of blogs. You can see that this is their sitemap. They have tons of blogs or articles they have written, crazy amount of articles. So if they could connect those to like the main core sectional articles, like they have like diversified like many perspective. They showed like know your limits, like they also talked about SEO, they also talked about Super Bowl, and employers, passion to helping, customer feedback. Like they talked about many different things, but they had to differentiate which one is the root, which one is the core section, which one is the outer section, so that they can interlink properly. Otherwise, if we just start creating randomly and start creating page non-stop, then the crawl budget will go high and Google will stop coming to your website, and it will be a disaster. So yeah, you have to have a good root article so that you can connect all your core section articles. Now the next one is the core section. Understanding the core section. As I said, the core section is like the articles or the content that you talk about your business. So how to start a small business, what are the benefits of small business, where to start, how to start, like how to get the money, where to hire people, how to hire people, and stuff like that. You have to talk about those type of stuff in your website, and those are your core sectional articles. But if you go to their XML, like a sitemap XML, you can see that I said a lot of different things that are going on. They are writing about core sectional things, then they are also talking about other things like email campaigns and stuff. But if you connect those email campaigns to small business, then that would be a good core sectional article. Otherwise, you will talk multiple different things. If you don't connect them properly, then that is going to be a disaster, just like I said earlier. Then after understanding the core section, you have to mention those core sectional articles to the homepage. Like that's the key of that's a way we do in Koray's framework or in the Semantic SEO, that we mention our quality articles on the homepage, so that when Google comes to the homepage, Google mainly comes to homepage because the homepage is the main, like the hub of everything. So when they come to the homepage, they can understand which one is the core sectional articles or the quality articles that defines you. Okay, that gives you the opportunity to become the topical authority in your industry. So if you could put your main quality articles here about your small business, powering or helping small businesses, that would be a good thing, so that Google can easily crawl your main quality articles. Then are there any humans mentioned on the homepage? So no, there are no humans mentioned in the homepage, but in the about us page they mentioned it quite properly. And I think if they could take some portions from here to the homepage, that would be a good addition, because Google tries to see if there are human efforts to a website. So when they comes firstly on a homepage, and if they see humans mentioned with their names and what they did, their history, some portion of it, that's a good sign. So to show that there are human efforts behind the website, and we don't just randomly use AI to create our website and just publish it randomly. So yeah, the next one is checking the title and H1. So if I go to any of their blog posts and I see that if the title 5 tips, like the H1 and the title of the website is quite similar, I think this is quite okay. The next one, if we go to the next one, so what we do is we try to put the H1 and the title similar words, so that Google can easily understand what we are talking about. If we write multiple different things, then it is going to be a problem for Google to understand what we are talking about. So most of their articles are written properly, like their H1 and titles are pretty much the same, I think. So yeah, they did the right thing here. And checking the next one is checking the URL structure. So in Koray's framework or Semantic SEO, we try to be as simple as possible when it comes to structure, URL structure. So we don't randomly put like subfolders to our URL structure, like domain / blog / something else, then / the blog. We try to put them after the domain, as simple as that. We don't put them in the blog section. Usually if you see any Semantic SEO website, we don't even have a blog section sometimes, because we don't like putting them in a separate way. We put the quality ones on the homepage and the non-quality ones, but those are like the neighborhood topic articles that can get more traffic. Those we put them in the website, but we don't show it as much as possible. But we index those as much as possible, but we don't show them on the homepage, and we don't usually put them under the blog category. So yeah, that's the URL structure. The URL structure is pretty simple, on point. I like that. And the next one is the SERP index, understanding the SERP index. So understanding the SERP index is about if you think this randomly, that maybe I can write about LinkedIn, why people should not use LinkedIn in 2025, this type of article. I don't know if you think this article will go viral and stuff, and you just randomly write them on your website and hoping for the best, that this is going to be good, this is going to go viral. But searching on Google, if we see that there is no other article written like that, then most probably your article will not get indexed. So this is like understanding the index. If you are willing to write something, check on Google that if there is already article written on it and indexed on Google. If yes, if there are like multiple, like 3-4 articles indexed on Google, then there is a potential that your article will be also indexed. But if you are not yet topical authority, Google don't know you, you are quite new, you don't have the authority they want, and if you randomly create content without like looking at the consensus what people are doing, then you will most likely not get indexed, or not get the traffic you are wishing or thinking about. So yeah, you have to check the if before creating a web page or article, you have to see the Google index, what the index is about, what the consensus are doing, so that you don't just randomly create thousands of web pages without this is going to cost Google a lot. So you have to be careful when doing it. So the next one is checking for the contradicting data. But when I don't know if they have any contradicting data, but whenever you create a content, you have to check that if any other articles is writing similar things, but the data is saying like 10%, new article is saying 20%, without mentioning the difference. Like if you are saying the same thing here and here, but the data are different, then this is going to show that your data are not aligned, and you have contradicting data. Then Google will reduce your authority, because you don't like you just write and you don't think, or you don't check your like fact check your stuff. Then this is a breach to the quality that Google wants. So you have to check your data before you publish your articles, so that it is not contradicting. So understand the outer section. So this is quite important, because this website has like maybe hundreds, if not thousand articles. So outer section is like the things that are your neighborhood topics, but not your exact business related topic. Like small business topics are your main topics, but everything else like email marketing, like SEO and web design, they could be about small business. But if you are solely talking about what is SEO, how it works, 10 tips for SEO, 10 tips for web design, 10 benefits of doing WordPress, using WordPress and stuff like that, those are pretty good website to get on the Google Discover and get a lot of attention, traffic, and impressions. You have to have those on your website. There is no problem, but those are your outer sectional topics. So when you create the topical map, you have to put them aside and put the core sectional topics aside, so that you don't like overlap or make them mixed up and have hard time to understand which one is core sectional article, where to put them, and where to put the outer section, how to link up between them. So the outer sectional article could be something like here. You can see that let's see, like 4 ways to create brand fanatics. Like this one could be an outer sectional article. Then we have like, maybe I have found some like 5 tips to prepare for the AI revolution. There is nothing here about small business in the title or anywhere, probably in the first portion of the article. You can talk about the small business at the end of the article, then you can link it to your root or to your homepage or to your core sectional articles. That's the thing we need. But as this is something outside of your main thing, this is your outer section, and you have to while creating the topical map, you have to define it, where to put it, and then properly link it from the outer section to your core section. So the next one is I was talking about the linking. So that check the internal and outbound linking strategy. So in Koray's framework or Semantic SEO, we don't do outbound links. Like we don't link to other websites, so that we can preserve as much as SEO juice or link juice to ourselves. So what we do is we mention a website and let's say we are mentioning WebMD about something, research about something, and we'll say that according to WebMD research number this and that, like we'll give all the entities and we'll quote like exactly kind of what is the expert saying, like, or what is the data is, but we will not link it to them, so that we can preserve our link to ourselves or SEO juice to ourselves. But by mentioning them, we are becoming an authority, we are becoming we did the proper research, that we put the data there. That's the way of showing that we did the research, we did the human effort, but we don't link them. so that we can preserve our link juice. Then the internal link. For the internal link thing, what we do is we put the internal link at the end of the article, so that Google can easily crawl without getting confused. Like if you randomly put the link here, they will go to this website again, or this web page, and they will come back and start reading. So we don't want to confuse them. We don't want to give too much crawl budget, take too much crawl budget from the Google. So we put the links at the end of the article. So their article, as I said, those articles are not that quality. These articles are quite thin. But whenever they put the links, they put them at the end, which is a good sign. But the thing is, as we said, we don't outbound link. They put a outbound link here, but this one is, I think, inbound link, like internal link, and that's a good thing. But yeah, I think they should start writing and updating their articles, and start writing like quality articles, so that they can start linking properly throughout their website. Sometimes they don't have any internal links, which is not a good thing. We have to be connected to each other in the articles, so that we can form a topical authority state later on. So the next one is check for article freshness. As I said, the articles are mostly like 2024, I think. The last one was edited in 2025. I think there are some 2025 articles, but the most of them are from 2022, 2023. So if they can refresh those articles, or update those articles, that would be a good thing, because Google loves freshness. So the next one is the central entity. The central entity is mentioned site-wise. So we mention the central entity site-wise to show that we are the topical authority, or the topically knowledgeable on this specific entity or the topic. So if I go to his articles randomly and search for a small business, I think I found some of the articles mentioning small business, but the thing is, not all of them are mentioned. I think most of them are mentioned, but it is in the footer section. I am mentioning that if those central entity is mentioned in the actual section of the article or the content. So you have to make sure that is mentioned, your central entity is mentioned throughout your website. And if we could do that, we can probably most likely become the topical authority like quickly. Without mentioning the central entity site-wide, that would be problematic for Google to understand what we are actually talking about. So yeah, this is kind of like the overall semantic SEO audit. I also wanted to do the semantic content audit, but you can see that we do a lot of things while auditing this, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Koray's framework in semantic SEO, there are over 200 rules, but I just collected only 31. So if I go through quickly, so that the video is only part 1 is enough, because their articles are not that much quality articles or long form articles. So yeah, single macro context. A single macro context for the page, H1, and the title aligned. So yeah, and every article should be revolving around a macro context. Like the main thing you have to, like if you are talking about soft skills, then the whole article mostly will be talking about soft skills. And I think this is pretty much mentioned here, because they don't have any micro context. Like they have a macro context area. They like talked about soft skills and stuff, but they don't talk about they didn't talk much about their business and how they can help with this thing. So the macro context is clear. The micro context is, I don't think, is clear, but sometimes it is clear, like how small business boost your business plan, something like that we need at the end of the article, so that it is connected from the macro context to the micro context. So yeah, this is, I think, makes sense to you. Like what is the macro context thing is, if you are talking about business plan, then the whole article, almost 90% of the article should talk about the business plan, and you also should finish your article with the business plan, so that it is throughout the article, and you have to also connect it with the macro context. So definitions and head words. So main terms defined early, then elaborate. So anytime you mention a term like business plan, you have to define it. What is business plan? So what your business plan does, it kinds of do this, but we have to be more clear, and we have to put them as early as possible, so that we can elaborate later on. But the definition should be early, so that Google understand what this article is about. The next one is question headings. So in our strategy, we use question headings. Like we don't use like random headings, like the components of the business plan. Like we turn these headings into questions. Like what are the components of business plan? And sometimes they are using questions. That is good. I think we have to follow this rule in our semantic SEO strategy. Then the next one is directness and brevity. So the answer should be direct as much as possible. So if you are asking about like how Go Small Biz boosts your business plan, then you have to start with like Go Small Biz boosts your business plan by doing this. So you have to be direct to your question, and the answer should be in the similar format, so that it is easier to crawl for Google. Always give a definition before the list. So if you are giving any list like the 5 tips, then you have to mention the 5 tips altogether, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then give a definition or a summary of the list before you give the list. Like the list includes this. You don't have to mention all of them, but the major ones should be mentioned in the summary or the definition. Then the list and listicles, like you can see that they talked about 5 tips, but they never have written together like what are the 5 tips are. If you could put them in the tips, 5 tips together, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you will have a higher chance of getting a feature snippet or a rank on the Google AI overview. So yeah. And then the annotation text. So the annotation text is kind of like before you give like these 5 tips, Annotation text will be something like the 5 tips to prepare for AI revolution are listed below. So this is going to be the annotation text. So they don't have the annotation text, so I couldn't show you that. Table and table definitions work similarly. If you have table, you have to show the table, and you will also have to give table definition, also have to give the annotation text for the table. Entities and NER. So I have mentioned that we don't do the outbound link, but we all do mention the entities as much as possible. Like if we need to talk about a research of WebMD, we'll absolutely mention WebMD research or any other research from PubMed and any other research. So as much as possible, we'll have to mention the named entity recognition or the entities. So numeric evidence. So the more number you use in your articles, the better, because Google actually, while crawling, and they understand the numbers better than the words. They also understand the words, but the numbers, they understand it quickly. So if you use more numbers, Google will think that you did a good quality research before writing the article. So they will give you more opportunity for that. More priority for that. So statistical data, something like similar to the numeric evidence. The more statistics you give, the more is better. Perspective richness, add limited relevant perspective under like for example, if you are talking about business plan, the more perspective you can give, like do parents who are starting a business need business plan, something like that. Do teachers need that? Do students or the young professionals need a business plan, like something like that. The more perspective you can give, the more is better. Then the sentence structure, word order, correct predicate. So like instead of, let's say we are talking about five benefits of a business plan. Every time we talk about a business plan, then if we could start with a predicate or a verb, like helps you do this, like starting with a verb gives you that, does this to you, like starting with the similar type of verb is a good thing. It is easier to crawl for Google. So if you can do that, that is a better thing to do. Then the model verbs are like will, should, need to. We don't use this type of model verbs because we have to be as certain as possible. So like if we write this will do that, we don't do that. Like we write this will this is doing this, like actually, like this is the fact, actual, let me give you an, like the sun rises every day. This is a good example. But if we write sun will rise tomorrow, this is like a confusing answer, but we don't try to do that. We try to give as as certain certain type of sentence as possible. Then we have if and conditional placements. So if we are going to talk about anything regarding condition, like if this happens, then this will happen. Like if conditional placement, we put them after we give the answer. Like what is your business plan does? Like what is a business plan? Business plan is this, and if you are this type of business, this will happen. So if related like sentences, words, we put them later on the sentence after giving the answer. So analogy, we try to avoid the analogy as much as possible because like imagine, picture, these type of things are written by AI, and Google actually tries to see that the human effort. But if we give like analogy, this defies it. Okay, so we try to avoid analogy as much as possible. So fluff and contextless words, we try to avoid like useless words. So if I simply say interested in learning more about crafting, defining each of these essential components. So these are like contextless or fluffy words. We don't try to use it. Like we'll just directly say that learn about business plan in this article, like just like that. So interested in that, imagine that. We try to not write those type of things. So co-reference pronouns. So we try to mention, instead of it, this, that, we try to mention the original thing, like it will help. No, we will write the business plan will help this and that. So we try to mention the original the word instead of using like pronouns and stuff. So the next is the semantic closeness and co-occurrences. So as you are writing your website is about small business and you are talking about business plan. So if we could like write sentences in a sentence where we could write like business plan and small business in the same sentence, then it will help Google to understand that they are talking about business plan and they are mostly talking about a small business. So these are related and we can connect them and we can rank them based on this. So the semantic closeness is this is called semantic closeness. So if you are talking about something and your main thing, you put them in a similar sentence as much as possible, closer to the word, then they can connect and they can make you the help you rank on Google or get more traffic based on what you are talking about. So using unique n-grams and originality, include unique phrase and combinations, repeat key n-grams, starting. So we try to use as much as unique n-grams that we can collect from Google, and n-grams are like keywords, but the n-grams are like the flow. There are flow, like there are multiple n-grams, like 2 words, 3 words, 4 words, 5 words n-grams. The keyword is basically 1 or 2 words mainly. So we try to use unique n-grams and we try to find those from Wikipedia and stuff. So the more unique n-grams we can use, the more uniqueness we tend to bring to our website. So yeah, this is it. And we also try to mention the n-grams that we are writing on the summary of the or the intro. We also try to mention them in the outro so that it is connected from the top to bottom. So yeah, the next one is internal linking. As we said, we interlink from the bottom of the article, and we also mentioned like if we are you can see that they are linking for software solutions. But if we go to this site, there is nothing in the heading about software solution. So what the H1 says, if we could the anchor text should be the same as the next where we are linking, the H1 of the where we are linking. So if that are connected or similar, that is a good sign for Google that we are linking to the right area. So the supplementary context separation, like I said, we have in our strategy like a main content or macro context and the micro context or the supplementary area, and we have a separation, we call it a contextual border or the bridge. There is not enough words that I can mention here, that contextual border. So the main thing is we have a macro section, the micro section, and we have a bridge between them so that Google can easily come read the macro section and go to the micro section and go to our homepage or to our service page or any other core section on our web page. So formatting the bold answer, so like this one, we bold out the answer, like what is business plan. Business plan is this and that, so this and that is going to be the bold, not the business plan. Okay, so most people make a mistake to bold out the main entity of the question, but we actually bold out answer, not the question. Okay, I mean not the entity, we bold out the answer. So the next one is image and alt text. I'm not going to go into the alt text and image, maybe later on someday. The schema, I'm not going to go into that. Sorry, the tone and the brand consistency. So the tone of the article we try to use is as formal as possible, because it is easier for Google to understand formal language rather than conversational language. We try to make it as easy as possible for Google to crawl, so that the crawl budget is low and we have a higher chance of ranking on Google. So that's why we try to use smart formal tone, so that Google thinks that we are professional at what we are doing. Yeah, I think they have a good professional tone, but sometimes they ask things that are asked by not sure where to begin. These are asked by actually AI, so we try to avoid this type of tone. So anchor text, outbound link, as I said, we don't outbound link, but we just use the entity of the research if we need. Give examples, like if you are talking about, instead of saying that business business plan, like soft skills, if anytime you talk about soft skills here, you have to mention that in a bracket, or soft skills like this, every time you mention a plural noun, you have to mention, you have to give some examples, so that it is easier to understand for Google that what plural form you are talking about. So this is a thing we do in our framework. You don't always have to do it, but if you can do it, that's a better thing to do. So EEAT. So EEAT is using we, I, and the perspective of a team or a person to the articles. We do it as well, but after we define a answer, if we are talking about what is soft skills, then we answer what is soft skills and what is it about, how it works. Then we say that how we do the help with the soft skills. We talk about us later on, not the first thing we do. First thing, we answer the question, or we give the definition as fast as possible. Then we go to our EEAT thing. We talk about we ask our stuff, so that it is EEAT authority with the topical authority as well. So yeah, this became a long video. I thought it is going to be a short one, but yeah, I think I'm going to later on, if I do another audit video, I'm going to do two parts. One part is kind of getting long to do two audits at once. So yeah, this is kind of it for this video, and I hope you understand some portion of it. If you have any questions, you can ask me anytime in the comment section or through DMs. Yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.